morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well and staying safe. Thank you for making the change last night on the timing, so we appreciate you all joining us. Without any further ado, I'm going to turn things over to Paul Triple H Levesque.
Hey, everybody, thank you for joining us today. Thank you especially to the international media with the time change. I appreciate everybody rolling with the time changes and the delays. But it's a busy time, as always, here. So this is no different as we get on the road, or well on the road, certainly, to WrestleMania and WrestleMania week, and especially given the circumstances, what will be a very exciting time. I look forward to this Sunday's Vengeance TakeOver, which should be, if you look at the card, spectacular. When you lay these out, as we've talked about a lot, the card comes into shape, and as you begin to see what it's going to be, I think it gets more and more exciting, especially given the time right now where anything can happen at any given moment. But this card really came alive when you talk about, for me, for a lot of people, I think what would be considered almost a dream match scenario, sort of between Kushida and Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship. Johnny coming into his own as a completely different performer and showing a totally different side of himself with his group, with Austin and indie wrestling and Candice, and just a whole different side of himself, showing how well-rounded a performer he really is. Sort of a dream match scenario, though, between those two. MSK, brand new, but making a really strong run and a hell of a statement so far on their way in the door with grizzled young veterans who have been together for a while, and if you've watched NXT UK, know what they bring to the table. COVID certainly put a damper on them coming into the company and into NXT in the U.S. in the way that we wanted them to, but here they are now, and I think will make a huge impact. And that match, I think, is going to turn a lot of people's heads as far as what both teams can do. You have the Women's Dusty Cup for the first year ever. That boiling down to Shotzi and Ember, Dakota and Raquel. The winner will not only become the first ever Dusty Cup champions, but also will receive a future tag title shot. I think this match again speaks to the strength and the depth of the women's division in NXT. Knowing that you not only have these four, but you also later in the show have the NXT Women's Championship with Io, Toni Storm, and Mercedes Martinez, three of, again, in that group of the best, in that whole group, you could say, some of the best in-ring female performers in the world. Almost half of this card in its entirety is made up of women. Look at the depth behind them. The division's incredible and only getting stronger. Even the current class coming in to the Performance Center, this rookie class coming in very soon. It's the largest female class we've had in history. So that it just really speaks to the commitment and where we're going with our female performers, and just seeing them as exactly that, as performers, as nothing else, and really trying to strengthen that even further. So, of course, that triple threat for the Women's Championship should be spectacular with all three of them. Mercedes Martinez coming back in, Toni Storm reinventing herself and really bringing up the side of her game, so to speak, that she has never really had the opportunity to show before. And, of course, Io is Io, and I've stated that many times, to me, one of the best performers in the world, bar none. And then Finn Balor and Pete Dunne for the NXT Championship. Finn really coming into his own in NXT and just showing a whole other side of himself, as he, always had the ability to. And then Pete coming back here to the U.S. again. A bit of a delay in the COVID world of where we wanted to go, but here we are. And this one, to me, I can't wait to watch. This is going to be something special. Those two will tear it up. Every match on the card has the ability to be a show stealer, my opinion. So I think it's going to be a spectacular night. As usual, we will have a pre-show leading into that. We will have a special guest as face-off show this week with Brandon Walker from Barstool Sports coming in to be a part of that. Very excited to have Brandon in, and give a different perspective on this and get his take on it. And I look forward to being able to do more of that in the future and really get different perspectives and point of view leading into these shows and analysis of what's happening and where it's going. So, again, there's a lot going on. I could cover more, but I would like to really open it up to your questions and see what everybody has interest in, and we'll go from there. So with that, we'll open it up.
All right, everybody, we'll keep it to one question per outlet since we have a lot of international and domestic online. Thank you.
Thank you. If you would like to ask a question, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. If you're using a speakerphone, please make sure mute function is turned off by your equipment. We'll take the first question from Maddie Paddock at Daily Star and Independent.
Hey, Maddie.
Hi, Paul. Hi. Thanks very much for your time. I wanted to touch on Edge's appearance on NXT this week because he did a great job, kind of storyline-wise, of presenting it as a real possibility he might come for either Finn Balor or Pete Dunne for his title shot at WrestleMania. Obviously, we've seen that happen last year with the ladies. As far as you're concerned, is it a realistic proposition that could end up being kind of Edge's marquee match for WrestleMania, and what kind of conversations did you have to that end?
So, look, when first of all, thanks for the question. I think that Edge's return has been done really, really well, and he really is in a place in his mind where he wants to build young and just get them rolling in different directions. So he has been talking to me since prior to coming back the first time to the Royal Rumble over a year ago of coming to NXT and not only stepping in the ring and talking, but stepping in the ring and performing. And, prior to him even coming to the Rumble, he sort of kind of gave me oof, man, here's my list. I'd like to work with this guy. I'd like to work with him. I would love to come here and work with this person. It's just where he's at. That youth is exciting. That their enthusiasm, their passion for this, their drive, their desire, and I think that when he came to NXT, seems like months ago now, but it was, I guess, 2 weeks ago. I could, just knowing him so well, I could see the smile on his face all day as he went around and was just talking to these guys and girls, and it's awesome to see. So I don't think any of it is beyond the realm of possibility. You saw it last year with Charlotte. I think you see it this year with him playing things across the board, whether that be McIntyre or Roman and or Finn, Pete, whoever it is. I think that all those things are on the table, but one way or the other, depending on where WrestleMania goes, beyond that, I think there's ability for him to come to NXT and sort of use his star power to, one, help them and kind of elevate, but also for him to have sort of that final few chapters of his career the way he wants to have them and with the people he wants to have them with. So I'm excited for that, and luckily that's something he's not only willing to do, but really pushing hard to do.
We'll go next to Connor Casey at comicbooks.com.
Hey, Connor.
Hey, thanks for doing this today. Just to follow up on that last question, you guys had, Rhea versus Charlotte at Mania last year. There was hints of Edge versus Finn this year. What are your thoughts on NXT having a more consistent presence on WrestleMania year after year?
Well, my thoughts on it are my thoughts on it are that it's great. You come into the place with WrestleMania where with so many brands, with Raw, a big roster of Raw, a big roster of SmackDown, a large roster of NXT, that you get to just a certain place where how big and how long do you want these shows to be? And everybody is sort of, putting their chips on the table, so to speak, for their spot in Mania. As always, that's the big spot of the year. Not everybody can be in those spots, obviously, and I think everybody understands that, but that's the battle, and it's a balance, is my opinion. I just think that you have to balance that out, but I love having them be a part of it. If you tell me that NXT gets to be a part of the biggest stage in the game and the biggest spectacle, it's phenomenal. It just helps the brand, and it helps continue to drive it forward. It's just a matter of how much can you fit into WrestleMania now weekend, and what is the benefit to having its own platform of an NXT TakeOver that week? It's a balance, but I love it if we can do it. So, by the way, Connor, I just want to say thanks for breaking the women's title match and all of that. I appreciate the support on everything you guys